Alright, so this video is going to be on how to write linear equations if you are given 2 points that are on that particular line. So we're going to take a look at 3 different examples here. The first one says that we're going to write an equation for the line given f of 5 is 9 and f of 2 is equal to 5. Now, anytime that you are writing the equation of a line, the first thing that we need to find is going to be m, which represents your slope of the line. And the slope of a line is the change in y over change in x. Delta y means we're going to subtract the 2y values. Delta x means you're going to find the difference between the 2x values, the change in x. And so the 2y values are the 15 and the 9. So you're going to have 15 minus 9 over, and then the 2x values are going to be 2 and 5. So 2 minus 5. Now, because the 15 was subtracted first in the numerator, the 2 needs to be subtracted in the, or 2 needs to be the first number we write down in the denominator. All right, so when we subtract these, you end up with 6 over negative 3, which is negative 2. Now, the equation of a line that we're going to be using is going to be what is called point slope equation of a line, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So the 2y values, or the y value that we're going to use, we actually have 2 points, and we just pick which one we want to use. So I'm just going to say let's use this point right here. And so the equation is going to be y minus y1, and the y value in that point is 9. M is your slope, which is negative 2. And then you have x minus the x value from our point, which is 5. And that's it. That's the equation of your line. Now, if you are asked to put your equation into slope-intercept form, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. What you would do here, the first thing is distribute. So you'd multiply the negative 2 times the x. So that's going to give us y minus 9 equals negative 2x. And then negative 2 times the negative 5 is plus 10. All right, so your next step is to solve for y. So you're going to add the 9 over to this side, giving you y equals negative 2x plus 9. This equation right here is the exact same equation as this one over here. If you were to graph them on a graph, you will get the same exact graph. These are just 2 different forms of an equation for the same line. All right, so let's take a look at another example here. Once again, the first thing that we've got to do, no matter what, is find your slope. So we subtract the y values in the numerator, 16 minus 4, and then in your denominator you're going to have 1 minus the negative 3. All right, so that's going to give us 12 minus the negative changes to plus, so that'll give us a 4, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So now that gives us 3 for a slope, and we just pick one of our 2 points to substitute in, and so let's just pick one. So the y value here is 16. That goes in for the y1, and the x value is 1, so that goes in for the x1. So that would be your point slope equation of your line. So just for the practice, let's put it in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept, again, is y equals mx plus b. And so what you're going to do is first distribute here, and that's going to give us y minus 16 equals 3x minus 3. And then we're going to move the 16 over here by adding it. And negative 3 plus 16 is a plus 13. That would be your slope-intercept form for that line. And one last example here, finding the slope. You're going to have the numerator, negative 5, minus the other y value, which is negative 2, and then negative 1 minus negative 6. Be very careful with all the negatives in this problem here. And so remember that minus a negative changes to plus in both cases. And negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. Negative 1 plus 6 is 5. And so negative 3/5 is our slope. Let's just go ahead and use this equation right, or that point. So you're going to have y minus the y value of negative 5 equals negative 3/5 times x minus the x value of negative 1. Now, typically you would clean that up because you don't want to have double negatives, so minus the negative changes to plus. And the same here, giving you x plus 1 in parentheses. That is your point slope equation of the line. And so, just for giggles, let's do slope-intercept. So first thing you're going to do is distribute, which would give you negative 3/5 x minus 3/5. And then you're going to subtract this 5 over to this side. Now, negative 3/5 minus 5 is the same thing as minus 5 over 1. And in order to subtract fractions, you got to have a common denominator. So this would be the same thing as saying negative 3/5 minus 25/5, which will give us negative 28/5. And that will be your slope-intercept form for the equation of the line.